Hey, this is Adams State Football with Coach Levi Gallas, presented by RG Bank, where your future begins today. We're live at San Luis Valley Brew Company. I'm Chris Lopez with Coach Gallas. Coach, we're a bit more than 24 hours away from opening kickoff 2026 season. How you feeling?
Excited. It's an overused term sometimes, but, with this group right now, the guys that we have in the locker room, they are really bought in. They've done a really great job of preparing for this moment, this time that we're still preparing, right? We're still 24 hours away. We still got another practice, but, the energy is high right now.
But my energy is high, I'm going to tell you that. Introduce the guest who you brought with us, Coach.
Yeah,
Introduce our guest.
Yeah, to my right, I've got Corian Francis. He's a cornerback for us. Me and Corian actually have some history together. He was with me at West Texas when I was a defensive coordinator. So super excited that he was able to join us here this last spring. And then to your left, right there, is Frank Arcuri, okay, and he's a quarterback. He's
not just a quarterback, Coach. He's the starting quarterback for your Grizzlies here in 2026, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Ready? You ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready. Can you tell?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Corian, can you tell?
Yes, sir.
We're ready.
Yes, sir.
Get this on. Give us seriously, Coach. Take us through the next 24 hours for the Grizzlies. What's that game day prep like? How do you take your team onto the field?
Yeah, right now guys are back into school. Like we talked about last week, we started school on Monday, so they're now going through their routine of, waking up, getting breakfast, going to class, that kind of stuff. So all of our practices are in the afternoon. So today we got one more practice in our preparation. And then tomorrow, we'll get them up, get them moving around a little bit, talk a little bit of just depth chart, making sure everything's ready to go and fine-tuning some pieces in that category, and then they'll go to class. And that's what I always liked as a player. I only played on a couple Thursday nights, been associated with it as a coach, but when you have that moment of being able to go to class, it kind of eats up the time a little bit faster. When you're just sitting on a Saturday waiting for it, it seems like that clock's not moving at all. So they'll go to class, and then we'll get things going about 2 o'clock into our pregame meal, into our pregame stretch, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that class can be a distraction. I can see that for Corian and Frank when they got to go to school on Thursday morning. That would be difficult for me, though, Frank. How do you get through a day going into a season opener? Do you have any routines for yourself?
It's obviously different being on a Thursday and a night game as well, but like Coach Gallas was saying, being able to take your mind off it a little bit and kind of get rid of some of that anxiety of just being excited for the game. So.
And Corian, you're on a defense where the motto is all gas, no brakes. How do you get yourself ready for Thursday night? What are you anticipating for yourself there?
Well, it's all about, preparation. You kind of, at Thursday nights, before the game comes, you kind of sit at home, you visualize yourself making these plays, all with film study, you test yourself against different formations and stuff like that. And then, so you prepare way before Wednesday night, or, you prepare weeks before the first game even comes. So when you get to game day and, you get to these certain situations, you'll be able to, make those plays and trust your preparation, trust your technique, and, let the game speak for itself.
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit more into game day here, Coach. Talk a little bit about the Grizzlies on offense and defense. Before we do that, you've got some new things at the stadium, Rex Field, when the Grizzlies kick off, 6 o'clock, Thursday night, Western New Mexico. You've made some changes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was coming from multiple different areas that I needed to up my social media game a little bit. So, yeah, I posted a couple videos talking to our fans, our community, our friends, our families coming in that, we're trying to create an experience for everybody that is going to be enjoyable. So, yeah, first thing that we did is we're going to make it a blackout game. Yeah, it's our one night game of the season that we're playing at home. It made more sense to go all black than all green, just being that it's a night game. And then, with that, we're trying to get the student involvement going on as well. So we're going to switch the actual student section to the west side of the field, put them right behind the opponents, but also just give them their own area to get the stadium rocking a little bit. Yeah, I'm buying some pizzas.
I heard you bought 100 pizzas for the student body.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yes. So we're buying 100 pizzas for the student body. You know, what gets people to an event more than food.
Right.
So that's kind of the angle that we're approaching with that.
Let's talk a little bit about the offensive and defensive units, what you're anticipating or what you're expecting first on offense. Then we're going to talk to Frank about that Grizzly offense. What's your thoughts going in this year, Coach, when you look at that?
You know, I would just say their preparation has been on key. Like, you know, you would like to come in and just throw a playbook at them day one and just say, hey, we can operate with all this stuff. Let's go to work. And that's not really the case in college football. You gotta put it in segments. And that's what I think our offense has done a really good job of this fall camp going into this week, is understanding who our personnel is, what we're good at, what we need to try to continue to capitalize on, and then at the same notion, you know, what are some areas of improvement. And they've done just a phenomenal job. Coach Kaiser and his staff is just, again, allowing these guys, putting them in positions to go make plays.
Frank, I don't want to put more pressure on you than maybe you're already feeling, but new team, coming in from California, had success at the junior college level, had success in Sacramento at the high school level. Now you're in Division II football, new program, new town. How do you adjust?
I think just working with the guys around me, you know, the coaching staff, the players that have come in. Like, we had a lot of returners, a lot of transfers, freshmen, and, you know, I think we've all, like, come together pretty well. And I think we have a good understanding of what we're good at on offense and just really playing together well.
Corian, we heard a lot last week about the brotherhood that the Grizzlies have been working to establish here in the preseason going into game one. Where do you feel you are in the locker room with that unity? And then what's your expectations for the defensive unit?
Well, I feel like, you know, the brotherhood thing is a very, very true statement. You know, we all trust each other. We all come together, you know, when we face adversity together. You know, no one points fingers or there's no egos around the team, and we all trust and believe in each other. And, you know, where I fit in is I just feel like I just got to stay true to myself, you know. The guys trust me, I trust them, and when we all come together, we can make something beautiful happen.
You know, you've played for Coach Gallas. You made that move here to Adams State with him. When you think of the Grizzly football team, where do you see it today?
Today, when I think of the Grizzly football team, I think we're going to shock a lot of people. You know, people count us out, you know, saying because of the history, but, you know, history doesn't really matter. You know, saying when you have a future that you can work towards. So I feel like we're going to make a lot of noise and, again, turn a lot of heads and gain a lot of respect to a lot of people.
Coach, talk a little bit about Corian and then that defensive unit, because like we said, and we heard it last week, pressure, 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 all gas, no break, let's go, let's go. What are you thinking this year?
Yeah, you know, Corion's a big piece to that puzzle, but our whole secondary is. You know, him being a cornerback, it really relies on a lot of communication between the back end, and I think that's what our secondary has done a phenomenal job in fall camp as well, is really getting on the same page with each other. You want to bring pressure, you want to go all gas, no brakes, you've got to have a secondary that you trust. And that's the reality of it, is the group that we have now, a lot more faith in just year two, right? The guys that we had last year did a great job of establishing what the culture needed to be, where we need to take this thing forward. And then these guys that we were able to bring in, as well as some of the younger guys growing up another year, took that and now have started to really run with it. And I think that's what's really going to be special about the entire unit. It's not just one group that's going to show out. It's all three, you know, the front, the mid-level, the back end, all working together.
Hey, Frank, when you think of your offensive unit, give us just a sense of what Grizzly fans will see from the offensive unit. Are you run heavy? Are you pass heavy? Are you trying to what does that look like for you, and what kind of quarterback are you? We haven't seen you play yet.
I think we're definitely a balanced group. We got a great offensive line. You know, we're definitely going to lean on them. We've got guys on the outside who can make plays, running backs, tight ends. Like, I think we all come together really well.
What's a good start for you on the football field once kickoff happens? What is it that has to happen or you hope happens?
Just play winning football. Take care of the football. Take what the defense gives us, whether that's a run game, pass game. whatever it may be. Just play winning football.
And taking care of the football coach is something that I know you emphasized last year, something we talked about that at times came back and would bite you. It did at the end of last year when you opened with Western New Mexico ahead of that game, right?
Yeah.
What's been the conversations there? Frank talked about that, being careful not to turn the ball over. Similarly, you get a penalty at the wrong time. What's the discipline you think you are in now this year?
You know, we tried to hit that day one. When we brought these guys into fall camp, we had a PowerPoint slide, expectations. Hey, we are in fall camp right now. This is not game one. We don't need to focus on any other opponent but ourselves and getting better. And one of the second bullet point was taking care of the football. One, from an offensive standpoint. Two, from a defensive standpoint, how can we create more takeaways? You know, and I think with an aggressive defense that we had in fall camp and getting after that ball, making sure ball carriers are holding it high and tight, you know, addressing different issues in which we saw maybe sloppiness happening within practice, address it, come back, watch it as a team. How can we get better? And I'll tell you, quite honestly, you know, they have a better sense of what that little brown thing. It's attention, you know what? Everybody's looking for that thing, and they're doing a good job of keeping control of it.
You know, one thing I have noticed about Frank when I've watched a few practices is he has the ability to take off. You have the ability to get outside the pocket if you need to and take off. How do you make that decision when you're sitting in the pocket or when you're feeling that pressure for yourself?
I think it's just a feel thing, you know, like taking what they give us. So if I need to make a throw from the pocket, like I'm going to do that. But I feel like I have a good sense of feeling pressure and knowing when to get out, when to throw from outside of the pocket, when to take off and run. So.
It's been a competitive camp too, the Grizzlies this in the preseason. It's been a competitive camp at the quarterback position. How has that helped you as you get accustomed to playing here at Adams State?
Yeah, I think we have a good quarterback room. Like we do really have a good group, and you know, all of us just going to meetings together and like pushing each other to get better, and you know, I think it just creates a good atmosphere for us.
Yeah, it looks like you have some good depth there, Coach.
Oh yeah, yeah, we really do. You know, that's what I told this entire group yesterday. I think it was in our meeting that this team has made it extremely hard on us coaches. We've had to have some tough conversations. You know, you go into a particular moment of having to name a starter, right? Every team in college football is going to have 22 starters, your special team starters, those type of conversations, and they happen going into game one. But in reality, you're going to need a lot more than 22 people to go in a game. And in every case, whether it's a corner room, whether it's safeties, linebackers, D-line, we've had to have those conversations, and I just told the entire group, thank you. Like, these are hard conversations that us coaches need to have with you guys, but the reality is the entire unit, the entire team is pushing each other.
Well, the reality, too, is college football, Division II football is a violent game. It's a fast, violent game on the football field, and you go through players. I mean, it's a tough game. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that in terms of the depth that you were looking for, Coach.
Well, I think a lot of that started, too, in the spring. We knew that we needed to get depth in all areas because we know the reality of Division II football is reliant on your depth. And then with the transition at the strength coach, like that was a big piece to our puzzle that we feel like that's going to give us a competitive edge because Coach Gersick and his staff have done tremendous things with this unit in the summertime, even during fall camp, even this week, of knowing how to take care of these guys, how to take care of their bodies, what, you know, precautions that we need to take, whether it's in practice, after practice, before practice, you know, how we're stretching, all that good stuff to where, you know, we can keep these guys a lot longer around a lot longer than maybe other programs.
And we heard that last week from the players about how they appreciated that emphasis on the weight room, on conditioning. How is that? How have you seen that, Corian? How have you seen the Grizzlies in the preparation there?
Oh, you know, it's kind of like I don't know like a good word to describe it, but it's a great thing to see because it's the energy we bring. It's so consistent, you know. We show up, we can have like so say like in fall camp, we'll have a morning practice on a Monday, and then we go in the weight room like around noon time, and we have a full body day, but we're pushing a lot of weight, and the energy doesn't go down. You know, we're not moping around the weight room. We're not dreading the workout. It's great energy. Everyone's excited to work, and everyone show up to work, and that's a great thing to see. You know, it's going to make us better.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick break here because we want to appreciate RG Bank. Your future begins today, and that's not just a slogan at RG Bank. It's how we work. Personal or business, come tell RG Bank about your future, and we'll work on the financial game plan to help you. RG Bank, proud sponsor to be the presenting sponsor of Adams State Football podcast. They're a member of the FDIC. RG Bank says go Grizzlies. We have Joel Polkowski with us and his family coach.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they deliver the goods.
Hey, I was just telling Joel that just a second ago, you know, I needed a new one of these because I worked through the other one so hard. And so I was pumped to see this sitting on our chairs as we walked in. But yeah, RG Bank does a phenomenal job helping us out.
Yeah, I like the black. I like the charcoal black combo. That's a nice looking
it's
hat.
Pretty sharp.
That's
pretty
nice.
sharp.
Yeah. Give us a little bit though about the Grizzly Club, because I know after this, Coach, you are headed to the Grizzly Club. Talk a little bit about the importance of that group for you.
Oh, they are tremendously important for all of our success that we have. You know, I know even Joel's part of it, you know, and we've got so many members of the community that help us out. We're going to our luncheon, right? We're going to talk to them here in just a second, but they're at all of our games. They've got a tailgate section, you know, in which you can go in and purchase drinks and food right before the game, right in the north end zone. But then those Grizzly members are at everything. They came to our dinner banquet, they came to our golf tournament, we help support them, and it's really truly a nice tight-knit family that those people are helping these student athletes in different ways, especially in the scholarship category.
Yeah, RG Bank and the Grizzly Club, that's the way to support Adams State football. Let's talk a little bit about who's coming in here to Rexfield, Western New Mexico. You faced them last year's season opener, difficult end there. Talk about what you're anticipating this year from that team.
You know, I'm anticipating their absolute best. Coach Hickman does a phenomenal job with that unit. Over the last 4 years I've faced him. He just has those guys always ready for games. You know, especially when it comes game one. You know, they're going to be just as excited as us. They're going to have that same type of energy to go out and prove themselves. You know, they're sitting in a situation in which they want to continue to find success and move forward as a program. So I expect nothing but the best when they step on the field tomorrow night.
Corian, at the line of scrimmage, that's where games are won and lost, at the line of scrimmage. How do you get yourself set up knowing that going into game one, Western New Mexico, defensive back on the field, that line of scrimmage? Talk to us about the importance of that.
Well, you know, the line of scrimmage is very, very important in the game. You know, it can lead to, you know what I'm saying, different types of aspects in how the game will go. But in terms of like preparation for that, you know, I think that just goes back to following on trusting your coaches and trusting your preparation and trusting in your ability to be able to make the plays at the right time at the right moment.
Give us a little bit of what's inside a player's head when you're on the field, you're on an island by yourself, defensive back. Give us the mental approach to that from your perspective, Corian, from your experience. What's in your head as you're on the field?
Well, for me personally, you know, I love being on that island, you know. I love the pressure on that one-on-one matchup, you know, and the ball's in the air, who's going to make the play, you know. I love that pressure, and I love being able to show up for my guys and show up for my coaches, and I love that, you know, my guys have and my coaches have that trust in me to show up for them when that, you know, that one-on-one matchup happens. So that pressure, just like I said, that one-on-one matchup and being on that island, it makes me better, you know. It brings out the competitiveness in me, so I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
And Frank, on the offensive side, you take the field for the first time, again, starting quarterback for the Grizzlies. What has to happen for you?
For me personally, just staying locked in mentally, having the discipline to go through my reads, go through my checks every single play, you know, and getting our offense in the right position so that all the guys around me can be successful.
This is a team that Western New Mexico gives up a lot of yardage, 500 plus yards last year they gave up. Can you take advantage of that as you look at this year's game, Frank?
Yeah, absolutely. And, honestly, with going in week 1, like, I think it's all about us right now. Like, we respect our opponent, but we got to if we do our things right on offense, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah. Final words, Coach. How do you take the Grizzlies onto the field Thursday night as they come out there? What's that message? How do you take them out there?
Yeah, I think right now the message is, we got to stay calm, cool, and collected right now. We got to trust in our preparation. There's a sense of energy already around. We know it. I think there's a very important piece that you don't get too hyped, right? You only have so much adrenaline in your body, and if you waste it right now at the front end of a Wednesday night, then what are you going to rely on when it comes Thursday time? And so as long as we continue to just stay focused in our preparation and our mindset going into a game like this, I expect, once the lights turn on, look for the Grizzlies to really morph into something different.
Yeah, I look forward to it Thursday night, Rexfield, 6 o'clock. Hey, we'll be back next Thursday for the breakdown with Western New Mexico. We'll also look ahead to Adams State's first road trip to Alpine, Texas, and their game against Sul Ross State. This has been Adams State Football with Coach Gallas, presented by RG Bank. Owen Woods is our producer. Join us here live and we'll buy you lunch, Coach, we say. Go Grizzlies!